Hello, high level listeners. Today's vocabulary class in English is going to help you with storytelling in English so you can share little stories from your life in a fun, more interesting way in English.
Yeah, absolutely. On our YouTube channel here at High Level Listening, we like sharing real English vocabulary that you can use in everyday life. And in real, everyday English stories, we use lots of phrases just for making stories more exciting and more fun to listen to. And you'll hear lots of those in today's episode.
So, like always, we'll share one story each. My story is about remembering a small but funny moment in a cafe.
And my story is about one of those slightly awkward moments that still makes me laugh later. And like always, if you want to build a real life vocabulary all year long, you can check out our My Year of English Vocabulary ebook. It has over 2,000 useful words and phrases. It's based on our previous 100 episodes of this vocabulary format. There's over 200 vocabulary words and phrases a month for an entire year. So you can find that in the link in the description below. Okay, so Kat will go first in her story in American English. Let's hear your story first then.
Okay, so there was this one time I was just grabbing a quick coffee, nothing special when this kind of silly mix-up happened. So I'm ordering my usual iced coffee, but for some reason, the other barista just starts handing me this huge hot chocolate with the whipped cream and sprinkles. And at first, I just stood there confused, and I was like, wait, is this mine? Who is Jacob? And then this very tattooed biker guy comes up behind me and says, "Hi, sorry, I think that's for me." And the funniest thing about the whole story is that it turns out we went to high school together.
Oh, wow, what? Okay, plot twist at the end. Nice. Okay, I like Jacob's
So,
drink choice.
yeah, exactly. And he's like a big, muscly, tattooed up biker guy. And he just comes up behind me and it's like, all those sprinkles, right?
So yeah, it's for me.
So, what about you, Mark? Do you have a kind of a random funny story like that?
Yeah, I was thinking there was this restaurant in my hometown, and one evening I went there on a date, and I was trying to act natural, like I knew the menu really well. So I was like, I'll have the usual, even though I'd only been there maybe twice. The waiter looked at me like, what? And then he went along with it. And then he comes out with this ridiculously spicy soup. So I'm sitting there sweating and sniveling, trying to play it cool. And there wasn't a second date.
Oh, no.
So there you go.
Trying to
Yeah.
play it too cool, Mark.
Mm-hmm. Right. Trying to play it cool that actually ended up too hot. So
Yeah,
that's my fault.
exactly. So don't worry if you didn't catch every single word. We're going to go back through line by line, and we're going to explain the best vocabulary, the best phrases, and help you learn some more storytelling in English. All of this is also included in our ebook for our year of English, and this will be updated with a brand new chapter very soon.
Okay. So yeah, back to the start of your story, Kat. What happened to you?
Okay, so there was this one time I was just grabbing a quick coffee. Okay, so there was this one time I was just grabbing a quick coffee, nothing special, when this silly kind of mix-up happened. Okay, so there was this one time I was just grabbing a quick coffee, nothing special, when this silly mix-up happened. All right, so there was this one time. The very beginning of my sentence, I say, okay, so. That's so common and natural conversation when you're about to start kind of a sentence or you're about to start something interesting. Okay, so you need to listen to me. Okay, so there was this one time. Now, I know a lot of students from books and as story time, right? You hear the phrase once upon a time. That's for like a Disney story, right? Once upon a time. Or a romantic love story, right? But when we usually say it in regular conversation, there was this one time. There was this one time. And we're using the word this because it's something new. Oh, so there was this one time that this happened. Oh, so there was this one time I did this. This is a very common way to start your story. So I was just grabbing a quick coffee when this silly mix-up happened. Now, I'm sure that when you guys learn the present progressive or the past progressive, you learn that these two sometimes go together. I was grabbing a coffee when something happened. That's very common. You'll have the present or past progressive, was grabbing. I was just grabbing a quick coffee when something happened. Then you have the past. Okay. I was just grabbing a quick coffee, nothing special, when this silly mix up happened.
And a mix-up.
So I'm ordering my usual iced coffee, but for some reason, the other barista starts handing me this huge hot chocolate with whipped cream and sprinkles. So I'm ordering my usual iced coffee, but for some reason, the other barista starts handing me this huge hot chocolate with whipped cream and sprinkles. So, okay, so we started the whole story with, okay, so. So this is a good way to try to remember what was happening to start connecting your sentences, right? So I'm ordering my usual iced coffee. Okay, that's a little weird. Why did we change from the past to the present? I'm I'm ordering my usual iced coffee. This is a storytelling technique that people don't really know that they do it, but it's to try to put us into the scenario. So I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and then he's doing this and he's doing that. It's because we are trying to put you into it. Like you feel like it's happening right now. So I'm ordering my usual iced coffee, but for some reason, the other barista starts handing me this huge hot chocolate with whipped cream and sprinkles. So I use the present again. She starts handing me. That means that she's taking this giant coffee, this giant hot chocolate, and trying to give it to me.
Okay. What did you do?
What did you do?
So, yeah, what did you do? What did you do next? Did you take the hot chocolate?
Well, okay. So at first I just stood there confused and I was like, wait, is this mine? Who is Jacob? At first, I just stood there confused and was like, wait, is this mine? Who is Jacob? Okay, so at first. So that means right away or directly after this happened. At first, I just stood there. So we've gone back to the past, but I just stood there confused. This feels like a very dramatic action. I just stood there confused. I was confused. So we're back to the storytelling in the past and was like, now I know that Americans say like all the time, but this phrase, I was like, she was like, they were like, this is to replace, these two words are to replace the word said. And then I was like, and then he was like, and then we were like, means I said, he said, they said. Okay. And I was like, wait, is this mine? Who is Jacob? So I'm looking at the side of the hot chocolate, reading the name. Who is Jacob?
Jacob. Who is Jacob?
That's what I asked, right? Then this very tattooed biker guy comes up behind me and says, hi, sorry, I think that's for me. Then this very tattooed biker guy comes up behind me and says, hi, sorry, I think that's for me. I remember this so clearly. So then this guy, this very tattooed guy. So we're using the word this because this is the first time I'm introducing it to you. If I said that very tattooed guy, that sounds like you know who I'm talking about. You know, Mark, that tattooed guy that lives next to me? Oh, yeah, I remember him. I met him before. So when I say this guy just comes up to me, this is a new person. This is a completely new in time you've never met this person. Oh, yeah, this guy started talking to me. I don't know him. Then this very nice dramatic, this very tattooed biker guy comes up behind me. So he comes up behind me. I'm back to the present tense, right? You can interchange them. You could say he came up behind me, but he comes up behind me and then what? And then what? We're back in the story, feeling like it's happening right now. And he says, hi, sorry, I think that's for me.
Okay, well, don't judge a book by its cover. I guess you never know who likes rainbow sprinkles.
Yeah, and turns out we went to high school together. Turns out we went to high school together. So this phrase is kind of funny. We don't even have a subject. We are saying it turns out, but the sentence can just be turns out we went to high school together. Turns out means that eventually I finally found out. Maybe we started talking. I looked at him. I thought, wow, you look really familiar. Do we know each other? College? Oh, we went to high school together. So eventually I found out. Turns out we went to high school together. So that's just nice and quick, a little bit of the end of the story. Yeah. What did you say? A plot twist.
Right? It's a small world.
It's a small world. It's a small world. So I'll go through my story real quick, all the way through. Okay. So there was this one time I was just grabbing a quick coffee, nothing special, when this silly mix up happened. So I'm ordering my usual iced coffee, but for some reason, the other barista starts handing me this huge hot chocolate with whipped cream and sprinkles. At first, I just stood there confused and was like, wait, is this mine? Who is Jake? Then this very tattooed biker guy comes up behind me and says, hi, sorry, I think that's for me. Turns out we went to high school together. I hope you enjoyed that story, everybody. So,
I
Mark,
did.
do you have a
That's a good
funny
one.
story like that?
Yeah, so there was this restaurant in my hometown, and one evening I went there on a date. So there was this restaurant in my hometown, and one evening I went there on a date. So I start my story the same way as Kat. So is get ready. I'm about to tell you a longer story. This is going to be a couple of sentences. So there was this restaurant. Kat already mentioned the word this. This can be the first time you see something or it's unknown to you. I'm using this because it's actually not important, the restaurant. The restaurant is not
Hmm.
the main subject of the story. It's not the funny bit. It's not the amusing part. I'm just setting the scene. So there was this restaurant. It doesn't matter where, in my hometown. And one evening, I went there on a date. When you want to say a specific time or when it happened, one evening, I did this. One day, I went to the beach. Or
Mhm.
one Friday, we had some drinks after work. So if you do want to narrow down when it happened, we'll say one. So one evening. Again, it's not important which one. So there was this restaurant in my hometown, and one evening I went there on a date.
Oh, a date, huh? Okay, go on.
I was trying to act like I knew the menu really well, so I was like, I'll have the usual, even though I'd only been there twice. I was trying to act like I knew the menu really well, so I was like, I'll have the usual, even though I'd only been there twice. Okay, so I'm also using the past continuous. At the restaurant, while I was there, on the date, during the date, I was trying to act like I knew the menu. I was on a date, so I was trying to be impressive. I thought knowing the menu would be impressive to the other person or interesting, but it's not true. I was acting like I was trying to act like I knew the menu really well. So I was like, I'll have the usual. Like, again, replaces said. It is totally correct to say, so I said, I'll have the usual, and give the direct quote. But I was like, I'll have the usual is much friendlier. It's much more casual. And you can tell that this is supposed to be a kind of funny, silly story. So I was like, I'll have the usual. That means I said to the waiter, I want my usual order, or what I usually get, the food or the dish, even though I'd only been there twice. I'd only been there twice. Before this date, I had been there 2 times only.
Okay. So how did that turn out for you, Mark?
Well, the waiter looked at me like, what? But then he went along with it. So the waiter looked at me like, what? But he went along with it. So I think this is a really good phrase. When you're telling a story and you want to share someone else's reaction, they looked at me like, huh? Especially confusion or something weird. They looked at me like, are you okay? Like, they looked at me like, huh? So if something strange or unusual is happening, this is a really good phrase that you can just insert into your stories. Maybe you're with a friend and like, we looked at each other like, what? If you're ever confused or surprised. So the waiter looked at me like, what? With a face like, what? But he went along with it. So he kind of pretended that he knew what I meant. I'm acting like I know the menu. So he's acting like he knows me too. We both went along with it. We both pretended.
Okay, so what did he order for you then?
And then he comes out with this ridiculously spicy soup. Then he comes out with this ridiculously spicy soup. So maybe you heard the grammar change. He comes out. I'm using the present tense. When you want to say the funny, surprising part of your story, I think putting it in the present tense makes it a bit more, a bit more engaging. It's like it's happening right now. So you get to react just like I reacted before. So he comes out, like he emerges from the kitchen suddenly with this ridiculously spicy soup. Again, this soup. Because I'm telling a story, this is new to me. I have never seen this dish before, and it's the first time it's in the story. But again, I want to stress that this is a surprise to me. So he has this huge dog. He has this weird hat. He has this ridiculously spicy soup.
My gosh, there's no way.
So I'm sitting there, sweating and sniveling, trying to play it cool, and there wasn't a second date. So I'm sitting there, sweating and sniveling and trying to play it cool, but there wasn't a second date. So again, I'm carrying on in the present continuous. So I'm sitting there. I'm putting you in the story with me. This is the
Can feel it.
funniest.
I can feel it.
Exactly. This is supposed to be the funniest, most awkward moment. I'm sitting there. Sitting can be like sitting in a chair or sitting in a restaurant, literally, but it can also be just being there in a
Yeah,
funny or uncomfortable way.
experiencing something, just sitting in it, right?
Yeah, like we were just sitting there looking at each other like, what? So I'm sitting there sweating and sniveling. It's a really spicy soup. So because it's so spicy, I started sweating and sniveling. When your nose starts running because of spicy, you maybe need a napkin or some tissues. It's not a great look on a date, but I'm putting you in the moment with me. I'm sitting there sweating and sniveling and trying to play it cool. Play it cool. If you want to play it cool, you want to seem relaxed and comfortable, like nothing's
Everything is
bothering you.
fine.
Yeah, you're totally in control. This is great. So on a date, you want to play it cool to look kind of, mature, confident to the other person. But I'm so sweating, sniveling, trying to play it cool. And there wasn't a second date.
Oh, I can't
There
imagine
wasn't.
why not.
I know, shocking. So if the first date went well, we would have a second date. We would see each other again. But there wasn't a second date. So you can kind of sense that my plan didn't work. Okay, so we'll hear it one more time, all the way through from start to finish. So there was this restaurant in my hometown, and one evening I went there on a date. I was trying to act like I knew the menu really well, so I was like, I'll have the usual, even though I'd only been there twice. The waiter looked at me like, what? But he went along with it, and then he comes out with this ridiculously spicy soup. So I'm sitting there sweating and sniveling, trying to play it cool, and there wasn't a second date.
All right. So thanks so much for listening to our stories today, high level listeners. Hopefully, this will help you with your storytelling in English, and you can use these natural phrases to make your stories a little bit funnier and more naturally spoken, right? They'll make it a lot easier to tell your funny stories.
Yeah, and tell us some of your funny stories in the comments below. See if you can use some of the same phrases, the grammar and this, so, and we read and reply to every single comment we get here on YouTube, so perfect chance to practice.
And if you want to keep learning vocabulary just like this in a very organized way, check out My Year of English Vocabulary. This is our ebook with over 2,400 real words and phrases to just take that daily life up to the next level. You can study up to 200 vocabulary words every month for an entire year, and you'll never run out of things to learn and things to say in your daily life. You can find all of those in the link in the description below and in the comment section below.
All right, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy learning American and British English together like we do here.
Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.